Have you, Stephen King, experienced that heaviness?
Yeah. The worst case, I wrote a book called The Stand.
One of the most popular writers of contemporary horror, suspense, and science fiction, American author Stephen King has published over 50 novels and penned hundreds of short stories. Best known for writing the horror novel It, King is undoubtedly one of the most loved horror writers whose writings never fail to incite fear, terror, and fright in the minds of the readers. The author, who mostly publishes under his real name, also used to publish under the pseudonym Richard Bachman. King is a highly prolific writer and the winner of multiple awards, including the prestigious Bram Stoker Awards. His first published novel was Carrie, which was so successful that it led to several films and Broadway adaptations.
It was about a mutating flu virus, and any similarities to what's going on now are just too close for comfort. But
hello everyone, welcome back to Net Worth Now, where you get to see the lifestyle and net worth of your favorite celebrities. We hope you enjoy these videos, and if you do, please remember to hit the like button and comment below who your favorite celebrity is so we can feature them in an upcoming video.
His full name is Stephen Edwin King, also known as Richard Bachman, the King of Horror and the King. He was born on September 21st, 1947 in Portland, Maine, United States, making him 74 years old at the time of this writing. He stands at 6 feet 4 inches or 193 centimeters tall. In the early 1970s, King developed a drinking problem that would plague him for more than a decade. Soon after Carrie's release in 1974, King's mother died of uterine cancer. King has written of his severe drinking problem at the time, stating that he was drunk while delivering the eulogy at his mother's funeral. King's addictions to alcohol and other drugs were so serious during the 1980s that, as he acknowledged in On Writing in 2000, he can barely remember writing Cujo. King donates approximately $4 million per year to libraries, local fire departments that need updated life-saving equipment, schools, and a scattering of organizations that underwrite the arts. The Stephen and Tabitha King Foundation, chaired by King and his wife, ranks 6th among Maine charities in terms of average annual giving, with over $2.8 million in grants per year, according to the Grantsmanship Center. In November 2011, the STK Foundation donated $70,000 in matched funding via his radio station to help pay the heating bills for families in need in his hometown of Bangor, Maine during the winter. King met his wife, fellow student Tabitha Spruce, at the university's Fogler Library after one of Professor Hatlin's workshops. King married Tabitha Spruce on January 2, 1971. She too is a novelist and philanthropic activist. The couple owns and divides their time between 3 houses, one in Bangor, Maine, one in Lowell, Maine, and for the winter, a waterfront mansion located off the Gulf of Mexico in Sarasota, Florida. The Kings have 3 children, a daughter and 2 sons, and 4 grandchildren. Their daughter Naomi is a Unitarian Universalist church minister in Plantation, Florida, with her partner Reverend Dr. Thandika. Both of the King's sons are authors.
I got about halfway through that book, and I got these people to Boulder, Colorado, and by that time I had this huge cast of characters. There were 20 or 25.
Stephen Edwin King was born to Donald Edwin King and Nellie Ruth King. When King was 2 years old, his father left the family. His mother raised him and his older brother David by herself, sometimes under great financial strain. When King was 11, his family moved to Durham, Maine. As a child, King witnessed one of his friends being struck and killed by a train, though he has no memory of the event. Some commentators have suggested that this event may have psychologically inspired some of King's darker works, but King makes no mention of it in his memoir, On Writing. He related in detail his primary inspiration for writing horror fiction in his nonfiction, Danse Macabre. King attended Durham Elementary School and graduated from Lisbon Falls High School in Lisbon Falls, Maine in 1966. He displayed an early interest in horror as an avid reader of EC horror comics, including Tales from the Crypt, and he later paid tribute to the comics in his screenplay for Creepshow. From 1996, King studied at the University of Maine, Graduating in 1970 with a Bachelor of Arts in English, King held a variety of jobs to pay for his studies, including janitor, gas pump attendant, and worker at an industrial laundry. He found a job as an English teacher at a public high school, Hampton Academy, in 1971. He continued writing in his free time. He was working on a novel called Carrie, but was frustrated that it seemed to go nowhere. The novel Carrie was finally published in 1974. It told the story of a teenage girl who uses her telekinetic power to exact revenge on the people who had humiliated her. The novel was a hit. In 1977, he released the novel The Shining, which revolves around a young boy who possesses psychic abilities that allow him to witness the past horrors that had happened in the hotel he is staying in with his parents. The novel established King as a popular horror writer. His 1983 novel, Pet Sematary, which was nominated for a World Fantasy Award for Best Novel, was about a cemetery that had special powers to resurrect the dead that have been buried there. This novel was later made into a popular movie of the same name. King published a psychological horror novel, Misery, in 1987, which is about a writer who is abducted by a crazy fan who is upset with the ending of one of his books and forces him to rewrite the story, torturing him in the process. In 1996, the serial novel The Green Mile, telling the story of a death row supervisor's experience with an unusual inmate, was published. Set in the 1930s, the book is a great example of magical realism. Published in 2001, his novel Black Horse was written in collaboration with another writer, Peter Straub. The story is a chilling tale of a serial killer who targets children and eats their dead bodies. His novel Duma Key, published in 2008, is about a contractor, Edgar Fremantle, who suffers a terrible accident and experiences severe personality changes and eventually acquires the power to paint events that will occur in the future. Some of his more recent novels include The Dark Tower, The Wind Through the Keyhole in 2012, Joyland in 2013, and Mr. Mercedes in 2014.
And tried to figure out what to do with the story, and the worst thing was I was thinking, what if this thing never gets done? You talk about heavy. That was pretty heavy.
On average, for a couple decades now, King makes around $10 to $15 million a year. During his career, Stephen earned $35,000 from the sale of the story The Glass Floor back in 1967. Later in 1971, the author earned $64,000 annual salary as a teacher at Hampton Academy. The novel Carrie was published in 1973, which earned Stephen $400,000. Then in 1996, he was paid $1.5 million for the rights to the novel titled Rose Matter. During 1999, King made nearly $40 million from his various novels, and from 2008 to 2013, this author made more than $130 million. As of 2021, he is estimated to be worth around $500 million. Stephen and his wife owned 3 houses. Their Victoria home was built in 1870 in Bangor, Maine. The house was their primary residence. However, it's now set to become a museum and a writer's retreat. Moreover, the couple owns a summer house in the lake region of Lowell, Maine, and their 3rd house is a waterfront mansion on the Gulf of Mexico in Sarasota, Florida. In King's garage, you'll likely find a 1956 Plymouth Fury, a Dodge van, a 1953 Buick Roadmaster, a Mercedes, a Porsche 911 Turbo, a Range Rover, and a Cadillac Escalade.